2 years ago, France's Education Ministry issued transgender guidelines for schools. The guidelines say children need to be permitted to use any bathroom that conforms to their gender identity. They also say that trans children can use whatever first name they choose, as long as their parents agree. But some experts say school staff members sometimes override parents' right to decide for their children. Eve Vagerlant is a teacher in the Paris region. She says she saw this phenomenon many times.
What's very pernicious is that very often, in fact, the Education Ministry acts out of a desire to convince the child. In other words, we've very often seen what's known as the educational team, that is, the school counsellor and certain teachers, start using their new name and the new pronoun before the parents' agreement has been given. And then it's the same thing. It is the policy of fait accompli. It also puts pressure on parents. They make it look like the deal is already done. It also puts pressure on the parents.
In May, the Education Ministry launched an awareness campaign. Education Minister Pape Ndiaye said he wanted to welcome all LGBT students in schools. Vagerlant says this also means inviting pro-LGBT groups, including Planned Parenthood, to enter schools. In southern France, trans activists were invited to speak to secondary school pupils, promoting sex change operations. This was done without the consent of the parents. Vagerlant says she saw situations where the school openly supported transitioning children against the parents' will.
The Education Ministry has specified guidelines that say if the child wants to transition, but the parents don't agree, the school staff must try to promote this change. In short, they must try to put pressure on the family to consent, as if it were our role to do so. What's next? So, you've got a Stacy in your class, who may become an Alexander during the year, and we'll call her him. You're going to have to call her him, and if you don't respect that now, you could be sued.
She says this could lead to sex changes operations which are irreversible and potentially dangerous for the children.
It's a form of demagogy that's quite widespread, and that has terrible consequences. The problem is that with all this, the French education system supports gender transition procedures, which have much more serious consequences because they are medicalized.
David Vives, NTD News, Paris.